Welcome to the FSMA Produce Safety Rule Refresher Course, Module 4, Packsheds, Post-Harvest Handling, and Cleaning and Sanitizing Food Contact Surfaces. This set of refresher modules is intended to provide you with an overview of the key requirements of the FSMA Produce Safety Rule. These videos do not provide the viewer with a certificate of completion and are not a replacement for attending a FSMA Produce Safety Rule training. Rather, they are meant for those that have already attended a training course to remind them of the key elements of the rule. This fourth module focuses on packsheds, post-harvest handling, and cleaning and sanitizing of food contact surfaces in a packing area. It is important to keep surfaces like totes, tables, tools, transport vehicles, and other pieces of equipment that directly touch produce clean and sanitary. If filth is allowed to accumulate on these surfaces, bacteria can transfer to produce, contaminating the produce. This module will cover basic housekeeping practices that farms use to keep packing areas clean and minimize the likelihood of contamination of fresh fruits and vegetables. First, it is important to note that the FSMA Produce Safety Rule recognizes that not all packing areas are the same. You might have a fully enclosed packing area, or you might have a packing area that is only partially enclosed. Both are allowable under the rule. Regardless of your pack shed design, farms should take steps to keep the packing area clean. What does the Produce Safety Rule require related to cleaning and sanitizing food contact surfaces? The rule requires that farms clean and, when necessary, sanitize food contact surfaces. You must keep a record of your cleaning and sanitizing steps and train workers on how to properly complete the tasks. The frequency of cleaning will vary based on your operation. Generally, food contact surfaces should be cleaned each day that they are in use. Non-food contact surfaces, such as floors, walls, and ceilings, also need to be cleaned, though they may be cleaned less often. Proper drainage is essential to reducing standing water, which can create an environment for bacteria to thrive. Reduce standing water by redirecting water to an area outside of the packing area or installing drains. If you are packing outside, try to install gravel or other ground surfaces that will encourage drainage. Do not let domestic animals and pets into the packing area. When updating equipment or facilities, consider using materials that will make sanitation easier and more effective. Smooth, non-porous surfaces, such as hard plastic and stainless steel, are the easiest to keep clean and dry. Pay particular attention to older, rusty equipment that might be hard to clean. Conveyor belts, sponge rollers, cracked hoses, or torn rubber door seals are all areas where bacteria can accumulate and be difficult to clean. How do you clean and sanitize food contact surfaces? Cleaning and sanitizing is a 4-step process. First, brush or rinse the surface to remove bulk dirt and debris. Next, scrub with a brush and detergent. The detergent can be any product that is intended for surfaces that will be in contact with food, such as dish detergent. Next, rinse the surface with safe water that's been tested and has no detectable generic E. coli, making sure to remove all soap and soil. Finally, apply a sanitizer to the surface when needed. Sanitizers kill or inactivate pathogens, especially after contamination with animal waste. Use sanitizers approved for food contact surfaces and always follow the manufacturer's instructions for proper use. Pests such as birds and rodents can carry human pathogens in their feces and can also cause quality issues in your produce if they have access to your packing area. If you have an enclosed packing area like a pole barn or pack shed, you must take some measures to exclude pests like rodents and birds from the structure. A pest control plan can include regular inspections of traps and maintaining a clean environment to discourage pests. This may include using non-baited traps to catch rodents within buildings and deterring birds by installing bird netting or rafter spikes. Remove cauls from the floor at the end of the day so that they do not attract pests, and inspect and repair walls, windows, and door seals to keep pests out. It is also a good idea to keep the grass around packing areas mowed to reduce harborage areas for rodents. It is important to think about packaging as well, as dirty packaging materials could contaminate produce. The rule requires that only new, single-use containers or clean, reusable containers can be used. Make sure you store your packing materials in a covered area off the floor to reduce the potential for contamination from pests, dirt, and debris. This includes things like bags, clamshells, boxes, rubber bands, and other materials that will be used to package the fresh produce. Domesticated animals such as dogs, cats, and livestock are common on farms, but can pose a risk in the same way that wild animals can. Keep your pets and livestock out of the growing areas and packsheds. The rule requires that farms control the feces of domesticated animals to ensure that it does not contaminate the produce. It is a good idea to instruct customers and visitors to leave their pets at home. Don't forget about your hard-working produce coolers, as they also need to be cleaned and maintained. Watch for condensation and repair any drips from condenser fans. Condensate can carry pathogenic Listeria bacteria, which thrives in cold, wet environments and poses a risk to fresh produce. Train workers to watch for dripping condensers and to not place produce below a dripping condenser until it can be repaired. Here is a summary of this module. Keeping packing areas clean is an important part of food safety and can prevent cross-contamination that can lead to foodborne illness outbreaks. The FSMA Produce Safety Rule requires that farmers clean and, when necessary, sanitize food contact surfaces that are likely to touch produce directly. Cleaning must be done before sanitizing, since you cannot sanitize a dirty surface. Cleaning and sanitizing activities are a required record for the rule. Enclosed packing areas must have a pest control plan in place to reduce the potential for contamination from animals. Packaging materials and coolers should also be maintained and kept clean to reduce risks of contamination of the produce. This has been the FSMA Produce Safety Rule Refresher Course module on packsheds, post-harvest handling, and cleaning and sanitizing of food contact surfaces in the packing area. Find links to resources in the description of the video, and be sure to watch all of the other modules in this refresher course.